Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so let's learn a shorter amount of Derech Hashem today. We have a lot to do in Pesachim. So we are in Os Daled, in Tachlis Abriya Os Daled. We're just going to go to the second paragraph, and he says like this, a simple but actually very profound statement, one that is worthy of repeating every day. Vulam, he says, Habriya Asher Yis'atel Inyan Hagadol Hazeh, the creature which God destined for this great condition, meaning, this idea of connecting to God. We said the tachlis, the goal of creation, is to connect to Hashem, is to be able to become one with Hashem, or as close as possible, like a branch is close to a trunk. And that is why God created the world, again, to do good, and the way He's going to do good is by creating the what's the word I'm looking for? He's creating the possible reality where ultimately something or someone is able to connect to Him. So if that's the case, there is one creature who's able to do so, and that is human beings. And that is considered the main purpose, the main focus of all of creation. And anything else in the world is only going to be helping. It's only going to be there to assist in accomplishing this goal. And therefore, everything else will be considered secondary to this ultimate creation. And what that means is that, again, from a Jewish perspective, God created the world for the sake, again, of doing good. And the way that God does good is by creating the setting where human beings are able to be challenged with making the right choice or the wrong choice, with our free will and with the possibilities of going in this way or that way. And ultimately, the goal is that we make the right choice, therefore come closer to God, both philosophically speaking as well as on a deeper level. But that means that the goal of creation, that means that every single thing that God created, when you came here, whether you drove here or walked here, that means those streets, that means forget even the physical world, that means the trees, that means the sky, that means the birds, that means the bugs, that means that every single thing in this world was created, lo nivra olam ella bishvili, the world was created for me. And maybe we say it once in a while. I don't know. Do we think about it? Do we honestly think about it? Again, I'm not, just simply put, to remind ourselves the fact that the entire world, then we start expanding. I was at the Science Center the other day with my little children, right? And you start thinking about the galaxies, right? The galaxies, this troubled, certain thinkers, at least in the Christian world, this was a big deal. When you start thinking about how big and how we were not at the center, whatever it might be, but this notion of this vast, humongous world, it's hard to believe. And many people see this as a challenge to religion. How is it possible that if the galaxies, if the world is so large and we're just a speck of dust in the Milky Way, is it really possible? The answer is yes. Yes, we don't define greatness by size. We don't define the fact that something is larger does not mean that it is greater. Is a building more important than a person? No one will say that. So the same way, the galaxies, just because they're bigger, does not make them more important, but to really remind ourselves every time we see anything in creation, both certainly the beautiful, the awesome, when we stand in front of a Grand Canyon or Niagara Falls, whatever is certainly there, but even the smallest of things, to say, God created this world for me, not in a self-centered way, in a motivated way, to recognize the incredible importance that I have, that all of these sophisticated, complicated, and beautiful creatures and realities were created so that I can accomplish, so that I could grow, so that I can come close to God. If we think about that, I can't think of a more motivating thought when you think about this. If someone goes and gives you this a beautiful painting, right? That's motivating. Wow, that this person believes in you, and whatever. It's something very special, right? So if God created this entire world, this entire beautiful, vast, complex, and awesome world for you, right? As we'll see soon, we're about to talk about the fact that God created the world for one person alone, right? And that means that theoretically we could have been that one person. That means that God created all of this for you. That should be motivating. Okay. Sorry?